Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Kelvin here. In the past, I've always told you guys to save and invest as much as you can. And maybe some of you will be like, "Cheese in Singapore so expensive, how to even save money? Some more, the government take my money, I have to work till I die lor." Today, I'll prove to you guys that it can be done. It's pretty simple. All you need to do is just order cai fan without cai and Milo peng without Milo. That's how you save money. Just kidding. In this video, I'll show you how it can be done by showing you how much I spend in a month. What's my food expense, bill, transport, and all of those stuff. I know there's already tons and tons of videos out there that show you their expenses. But I want this video to be more than just a "see I spend so little, ha ha ha" video, because it will be meaningless if I just talk about my expenses and nothing else. Instead, I will also show you how I'm able to save on my expenses too. And you don't have to follow the traditional template of study till 21 years old, find a job and work till 62 years old, because life is so much more than that. And if you do it correctly, you'll be able to achieve financial freedom in your 30s and your 40s and retire early. With that being said, if you just want to see my expenses and laugh at how bad it is, I'll leave the timing in the description down below so that you can jump straight to it. But if you don't skip and watch on, you might learn a thing or two about life and money. Yes, it is that deep. There's a lot to talk about, so let's start right now. So my number one philosophy about money is, regardless of how much money I spend, is completely irrelevant to how much money I earn. In fact, ever since I graduated from university 9 years ago, my expenses have remained about the same. And yes, that means I live like a poor college kid. I don't really have the habit of splurging money, and spending money on non-essential stuff will actually make me feel bad. I don't know if you feel like this, or is it just me being weird. Whatever I spend money on, I always try to make sure that they are at the best possible value. Like if I buy stuff from online stores, I will try to find the cheapest version of it. And after that, I will try to dig out promo codes. On top of that, I will make sure that I'm using the best credit card to pay, so that I can save the additional 20 cents. I know the savings ain't much, but it's honest work. You will notice I've been wearing the same clothes all the time. It's kind of like 蜡笔小新, where he wears the same clothes and underwear every day. It's because I don't see the need to have so many different clothes, and I'm not a caterpillar where I need to have so many different shoes. What I want to say is, it doesn't matter how much money you make, but rather how much money you get to keep. For example, a fresh grad earning $3,000 but only spends $1,000 will have more money than someone who's earning $10,000 but spends $9,000 a month. A few years back, I realized that there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. You may think that they are the same, but they are actually not. Being rich is having money to spend. Like the guy who kena the $12 million jackpot is rich, but if he spends all that money on food, cars and clothes, all his money will be gone and he will end up being poor again. Instead, being wealthy is having assets making money for you, rather than you working for money. And if the asset is large enough, you have enough money coming in so that you will no longer have to work a single day in your life. When I realized this is entirely possible, my mind exploded. So nowadays, my principle is to save and invest as much as I can right now so that the future me will have a better life. I know how lame this all sounds. Like, people will tell me, live a little lah, if you spend so much, you won't get to enjoy life. There are two counter arguments to this. First, it assumes that the lesser money I spend, the less happier I will be. And that's a very wrong thinking. There are a lot of ways to be happy, and it doesn't necessarily involve spending a lot of money. Like for me, I will be happy if I can spend time with my family, like eating together, playing some free old console games on the TV. I will be happy watching One Piece manga, and some anime about some giants eating humans. But of course, I will go out and spend money once in a while. I'm not an otaku. Like before the pandemic came along, I used to travel 2 to 3 times a year with my family. The second point, many people follow the 50-30-20 rule, where they spend 50% of their income on needs, 30% on wants, and save the remaining 20%. Yes, it is good to have a budget, but this budget will only allow you to retire at 62 years old. Instead, I save and invest 50% to 70% of my income. There's a survey which asks about the 5 biggest regrets of people who will die soon. And among them, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And I wish that I had let myself be happier. The reason I'm saving so much is because I'm compressing all 30 years of work into just a short 10 years. That way, I don't have to work until I'm old and grey. I can quit my job and do the things which I really want to do, like travel the world, start a game company, do YouTube and share lobangs with you guys, just to get you to tap the like button to help support the channel. but it all starts by saving most of my income. So after this lengthy motivation speech, I will now show you how much I spend in a month, because that is what you came here for, right? Every month, I spend about $150 on food. Now, this is only eating out during lunch when I'm working in the office, because I have another full budget with my wife, which I will talk about in a minute. Before the pandemic came along, I'll be working in the office. On average, there are 22 working days a month. So I'll be spending about $6 to $7 every lunch, because food in CBD is freaking expensive. Nowadays, I work from home, so unless I eat out with my friends, my personal food spending is practically zero. For transport, I spend about $100 when I have to travel to work. I use my UOB One credit card as my EasyLink card and get a 3.33% cashback. So instead, I only spend about $97 a month on transport. But then again, ever since the pandemic came along, I don't really go out often. So my transport spendings have dropped down to maybe about $10. For my phone bill, I'm paying $30.35 for the Singtel SIM-only plan, paid using credit card. So it's about $29 after cashback. However, signing up for this plan was a mistake by me, because I could have gotten it much cheaper. When I signed up, I saw that their plan was $25. What I didn't realize was that there's a freaking surprise $5.35 caller IDD. Well played, guys. When my contract ends this year, I'll be switching over to GOMO, which is only $20 including caller IDD. My insurance cost is $200 a month. Yes, I have insurance because it will protect my finances and won't KO my family's finances if ever anything happened to me. And again, I paid using a credit card, so it's about $193 instead. I have all the basics like Medishield with rider, life insurance with early critical illness and critical illness, and a personal accident plan. I'm able to get my insurance costs so low is because I have term insurance instead of whole life plan. Many people prefer whole life plan because you only need to pay for a few years, but it will cover you your whole life. After my calculation, I realized that as long as I invest my money, even if I don't have life insurance after 65 years old, the dividends payout from my investments is enough to cover my outpatient expenses. Next, I have all my miscellaneous expenses like tax, haircut, or something random. It comes out to be about $200 a month. And that's all for my personal spendings. Next, I'll talk about my joint spendings with my wife. We practice the communism way, equal contribution way, where we contribute a portion of our salaries into the joint account, and whatever spendings we have together will come from the joint account. Like household bills, groceries, travels, so whatever spendings here, I will divide it by 2. We spend about $600 on food and groceries, so it's about $300 per person, paid using a credit card, so after cashback it's $290 instead. Every morning, we eat bread and drink Milo at home, and I have no idea why I'm still not a champion yet, even though I drink so much Milo. Both of us work from home now, and we usually cook about 5 days a week. Because of that, our savings on food is huge. We will just cook something simple like pasta with chicken, soup with chicken, rice with chicken, and occasionally fish too with chicken. On average, it will cost about $2.50 to $5 per meal per person. We will go out once or twice every week, and it will cost about $20 per person. We don't grab food often, and I think we have only done it about 5 times since January, and it's mainly because we have 2 free Grab vouchers. Oh yeah, here's a very quick pro tip. If you are a person who grab food often, you can go to Shopee to buy Grab food vouchers. For example, if you buy a $30 Grab food voucher, you will save $4.50. You can use my Shopee code in the description down below to sign up and get $10 off. The savings may be small, but every little bit counts. Our utility bills have went up since working from home. Last month, it's about $60. It's much lesser than the average because we don't really use aircon and we are using twice power for our electric. Referral in description below. Internet bill from M1, 500 Mbps for $29.90. I realized we don't need the usual 1 Gbps because we don't play online game anyway. The 500 Mbps is good enough for internet browsing and watching funny cat videos. Town council bill, $75.50. So in total, we spent about $166 for bills last month. Deduct off credit card cashback, divide by 2 is about $81 per person. We give about $950 to our parents, divide by 2 is $475 per person. And I think this is very common among Asian families. It's important to note that while I have nothing against giving filial money to our parents, I just want to say this. I hope that our generation can plan for our retirement so that we don't have to ask our kids for pocket money when we retire. That's because if you think things are expensive now, just imagine how expensive it will be 30 years from now and how hard it will be for them to save money, let alone pay for our expenses. That's just my opinion, to each their own. Please don't start a flame war in the comment section. For other spendings, it's about $600. If anything unexpected comes out, we'll use this money to pay, but otherwise, it's for future use like travels or even a baby. You will notice that I don't have to pay for my housing, and that's because I own an HDB, and that means all my mortgage are paid by my CPF money. Besides my personal spendings and joint spendings, I also have spendings for my businesses. But these spendings will generate me more money in the future. You may not know this, but I have a game company with my friend. We developed a game called Tiny Monster Battlers a few years ago. Server hosting is $750 a month, domain name is $18 a year or $150 a month. We also have Apple developer account of $150 a year, so that's about $1250 a month. For my YouTube, I signed up to Envato Elements, that's about $22.63 a month. I get all my stock footage, music, and video templates from there. Currently, I haven't spent too much money on YouTube yet. All I have is this phone which I use daily, this $5 mic, and this $30 lighting. And that just shows you that you don't need all the fancy equipment to start a YouTube channel. But I do want to say, I know that this background is incredibly bad. Maybe that's why I have just a few subscribers. But I promise you, I will get it done up when I have the time. All in all, that's how much I spend per month. As you can see, my spendings are incredibly low. I keep my expense as low as I can and not feeling high when the money comes in and try to spend as much as I can. No, I don't do that here. I don't pay for subscriptions like Netflix or Spotify. YouTube already has everything I need to watch. And yes, I watch my own videos too. I don't have PlayStation or Switch. Instead, I have a Raspberry Pi which costs only $200 but have a few thousand games to play. I don't upgrade my phone every year just to have a slightly bigger screen, faster display, and even if I upgrade my phone, it's a second-hand phone from Carousel, like my current OnePlus 3 phone. I don't own a car and the transportation here in Singapore is extremely good. You can get to almost everywhere with a bus or a train, except for some Ulu islands. As for any money that remains after my spendings, I will treat them as though they don't exist. The purpose of this extra money is to make me more money so that little by little they will replace my day job income. Until eventually I don't have to work for money anymore. And that's how much money I spend per month in Singapore. Comment down below, how much are you spending per month? Like, share and subscribe as I'll be posting new videos every Monday. See ya!